Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Shri Shri Radha Golokananda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Antakadi Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana namaskrityam naranchaiva narottamam devim saraswati vyasam tato jayamudire Srimmatam Swatha Krishna Punya Shravanam Kirtanam Ridyantastu Abhadrani Vidunoti Suritsata. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter number is, what's 69, right? And text 45. Yeah. 69, 45. Yaniha Vishwa Vilayodbhava Vritti Hetu Karmanya Ananya Vishayani Harishchakara Yastva Anga Gayati Shrunoti Anumodateva Anga Gayati Shrunoti Anumodeta Bhaktir Bhaved Bhagavati Hi Apavarga Marge Yaniha Vishwa Vilodbhava Vritti Hetu Karmanyananya Vishayani Harishchakara Yastva Anga Gayati Shrunoti Anumodate Va Bhaktir Bhaved Bhagavati Hi Apavarga Marge. Yani, which in Iha, in this world, Vishwa of the universe, Vilaya of the destruction, Udbhava, creation, Vritti and maintenance, Hetuhu, he who is the cause, Karmani, activities, Ananya, of no one else, Vishayani, the engagements, Harihi, Lord Krishna, Chakara, performed, Yaha, whoever, Tu, indeed, Anga, my dear king, Gayati, chants, Shrunoti, hears, Anumodate, approves, Va, or, Bhakti, devotion, Bhavet, arises, Bhagavati, for the Supreme Lord. He, indeed, Apavarga, liberation, Marge, the path towards whom? The path towards whom? Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada and his disciples Ki Jai. Lord Hari is the ultimate cause of universal creation, maintenance and destruction. My dear King, anyone who chants about, hears about or simply appreciates the extraordinary activities he performs in this world, which are impossible to imitate, will surely develop devotion for the Supreme Lord, the bestower of liberation. Please repeat. Lord Hari is the ultimate cause of universal creation, maintenance and destruction. My dear King, anyone who chants about, hears about, or simply appreciates the extraordinary activities he performed in this world, which are impossible to imitate, will surely develop devotion for the Supreme Lord, the bestower of liberation. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given various meanings for the word Ananya Vishayani. This term may indicate that the Lord performed activities in Dwarka that were unusual even for his plenary expansions, to say nothing of others. Or the term can be understood to indicate that the Lord performed these activities for the sake of his pure, exclusive devotees. In any case, one who recites or hears accounts of these pastimes will certainly be engaged in Krishna consciousness, and as Srila Prabhupada writes, certainly find it very easy to traverse the path of liberation and taste the nectar of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Srila Prabhupada further points out that the word Anumodate here indicates that one who supports a preacher of the Krishna conscious movement, he will also receive the benefits mentioned here. So we have commentaries by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Jiva Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. I'll just read. Okay, so Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he makes a point. The purpose of Krishna's human pastimes is not only to liberate mankind from the material world. The pastimes give prema bhakti. This is explained in this verse. He is the cause of destruction, creation and maintenance of the universe. His activities are not available except in this human-like form. Or his activities are the object of meditation for his pure devotees. That person who hears about Krishna develops bhakti, prema bhakti to the Lord, who is attained by the path of worship, which also leads liberation. But liberation from the material world occurs even at the beginning of worship. Let's read the first paragraph from Jiva Goswami. The results of chanting, hearing or appreciating the pastimes of Krishna are described using Kaimutya. He is the cause of destruction, creation, maintenance. But in this complete avatar, Iha, he performed pastimes which are part of his Swarup, or which are meant for his devotees, not for creation and destruction of the universe. Anyone who hears those activities attains bhakti for Swayam Bhagavan. This form is difficult to attain. Even after destroying samsara, a person can only attain the Lord by unobstructed bhakti. Okay. When Sanatana Goswami, he further makes the points that the sequence is in order of increasing excellence. Okay, so anyone who, even without qualifications, sings, hears, or even enjoys the activities which the Lord performs, who is the cause of destruction, etc., will develop bhakti. Of singing, hearing, and enjoying, the order is from most effective. Singing gives bhakti, but even enjoying the activity does. Sukdev calls out to Parikshit to engage in singing, hearing, and enjoying these topics. Okay. Om Jnanati Mirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsya. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So before I start, I would like to seek the blessings of Maharaj and all the assembled Vaishnavas. Kindly bless me that we can discuss a few points on this verse. Hare Krishna. So, we have come to the last verse of this chapter, and in this chapter we have read about how Narad Muni, he's visited different palaces, and in each palace he's actually seeing Krishna perform so many different activities. And I was just reviewing the chapter, and there are like more than 31 different activities of Krishna which are actually mentioned in this chapter. And Narad Muni is seeing that how Krishna is simultaneously performing. It's not that he's going from one palace to another. He's one palace. We started off by seeing that how in the palace Rukmini is actually doing menial service, even though there are thousands of maidservants, but she's finding the Lord. Then he goes to the palace of Satyabhama, and it's described that how he's actually playing dice game with Satyabhama and Uddhav. And then he goes to another palace, and we see how Krishna is like chanting his Gayatri. In another palace, he's actually giving charity to the Brahmanas, and another palace he is actually worshipping the demigods. So many, there's like a whole list of activities, and the whole chapter is what is Narad Muni actually seeing. And after seeing all these activities, Narad Muni says, I am so amazed to see how your Yogamaya potency is actually working in so many different ways. And the conclusion of Narad Muni is, after reading this whole pastime, he's so astonished that all he wants to do is he wants to go out and share the glories all around the world. And that should be our mood, that when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam and we are like appreciating the pastimes, immediately after we get so excited, we just want to go and say, oh Prabhu, Mataji, today we read in Bhagavatam and Krishna is this, and that should be like, if we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, if we are really absorbing the message of Srimad Bhagavatam, then the natural symptom will be like, Krishna is so sweet, so beautiful, so attractive, that naturally we should have that mood of just going and sharing. Oh, today we read in Krishna going to this palace and he's actually did this, and so nice. So we have come to the end of this, the last shloka in this chapter, and in this last shloka, like how we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, that after every pastime, normally Sukdev Goswami, he actually gives like a Falashruti. Right? He basically says, oh, anyone who reads this pastime will get so and so blessing. Like recently we're reading, okay, I'll give the example of Dhruv Maharaj, but so many different pastimes you'll read, like in Dhruv Maharaj pastime, at the end of the pastime, Sukadeva Goswami is giving the benefit that anyone who reads this pastime can actually get material profit. And there's like a whole list, can actually attain Goloka. And one may say, like, we just read about Dhruv Maharaj, who's actually, showing that the perfection of process is to attain Krishna. And why at the end, all these different, even like material benedictions are given. And Prabhupada actually explains in that purport, he makes such a nice point. He says, just like how in the verse actually describes in second canto, third chapter, text number 10, akama sarvo kama va moksha kama udaridi tivrena bhakti yogena. He said, irrespective of who we, what desires we have, one may be free from material desires, like a devotee, or some may have desire for liberation, or some may be full with like so many material desires. In either case, he should actually worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead with intense devotion. Right, that's that verse. And Prabhupada quotes this verse and he says, similarly, these pastimes of the devotees of the Lord, the activities of Krishna and the activities of the devotees of Krishna, one way, their effect is not different. You'll get the same purification. And then Prabhupada makes a point, similarly, anyone, even if he is like full of material desires, or he is desiring Swargaloka, he still can come and relish Srimad Bhagavatam. Just like any of these category should worship Krishna, since similarly anyone with whatever is his consciousness should actually read this pastime. So one way Sukadeva Goswami is encouraging everyone, come read this pastime, whatever is your situation, right? So just to get, and this comes again and again in Bhagavatam. One may think like, oh, after such a beautiful pastime of bhakti, then why are these material benedictions? But that's just to encourage everyone, irrespective of what is our consciousness, to come and read this pastime, right? So in this pastime, this is the last verse we are reading. And here he makes a point. He starts off by saying that how Lord Hari, in this world, he does what? Vishwa. For this universe, he creates, he maintains, and he annihilates. I mean, now we are in the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. We are reading about Narad Muni visiting all these different palaces and seeing so many activities. Then why would Sukadeva Goswami make the point that the Lord is a creator, the maintainer, and annihilator? And that's just to give the, maybe I'll come to this in the last, but anyway, so he's presenting one aspect of the Lord's activities as a creator, maintainer, and annihilator. And then he's actually bringing to another aspect where here it says that the activities, the extraordinary activities he performed in this world. And that's basically referring to Krishna's activity in so many different palaces performing simultaneously, like simultaneously being there. So all these extraordinary activities, which are actually impossible to imitate, like no one can actually imitate these activities, will surely develop devotion for the Lord. So maybe towards the end, I'll again come back to this point, that why this contrast is there of Krishna as the creator versus Krishna as the enjoyer in Dwarka. Right? So, one theme here that we see even in Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he actually makes a point that how these pastimes give prema bhakti. And I was just thinking about this point, that how Srimad Bhagavatam is actually giving us bhakti. And how can we understand that Srimad Bhagavatam is actually awakening bhakti in our heart? Like we can start off with the point of the creation of Srimad Bhagavatam. In the first canto, when we read the discussion between Narad Muni and Vyasadeva, and after that conversation, the Narad Muni tells Vyasadeva, what, you have written all these scriptures, but they are actually, insufficient. And that's why you are feeling dissatisfied in the heart. You need to give a scripture which is exclusively talking about Krishna's activities. You have not sufficiently glorified Krishna directly. So when after Narad Muni says this, and then Vyasadeva, he sits in meditation, and then in that meditation he actually meditates, and when he's sitting in meditation, he sees Krishna along with all the incarnations. He sees Maya Devi, and then he sees the living entities who are actually bewildered in this world. And then there is shloka. So he's sitting in meditation, he's seeing Krishna, all the incarnations. He's seeing, one energy of Krishna is Maya. And then he's seeing all the living entities suffering in this world. And then there's a shloka where it says, Yaya samhoito jivo atmanam trigunatmakam paropi manute nartham tat kritam chabipadyate. And he's actually understanding that all the living entities are suffering in this world just because of this covering of Maya. And what is the solution? And then he says, Anartho pasamam sakshat bhakti yogam ajokshaje lokasya janato vidvam chakre satvata samhita. He's thinking that, well, the only solution for the suffering of all living entities in this world is anartho pasamam sakshat. The anartha and the heart are destroyed. And what is the real solution? Bhakti yogam ajokshaje. That devotion to the Supreme Personality of God. And in this Chakre Satvat Samhita, and realizing that bhakti is the solution for the suffering of all living entities, he actually compiled this Chakre Satvat Samhita. This Samhita is compiled just to give bhakti to all living entities. So even the creation of Srimad Bhagavatam, the purpose that Vyasadeva had in mind is this Bhagavatam will give bhakti to everyone. Now how do we understand that Bhagavatam actually gives bhakti to everyone? Right? So I was thinking of different points. Like one thing that we see throughout Srimad Bhagavatam is how Bhagavatam actually destroys the anarthas in the heart. I mean, Prabhupada often quotes the verse, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kavano Shravanadi Shrudichet Koro Uday. The bhakti is there in our heart. It's already there. But right now it is covered with so many layers of anarthas. So if you want to access or awaken that seed which is already there in the heart, then we need to clear out all those anarthas. So one way, how is Bhagavatam actually giving us bhakti? The first step is actually it destroys our anarthas. And then before reciting Bhagavatam, many devotees often chant this shloka, Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Right? So, this verse basically says, right. So the verse before this is Shinvatam Swakatha Krishna, right? So Shinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Ridyantasto Abhadrani Vidunoti Sirasan. So Shinvatam Swakatha Krishna. When we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Shinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravanam Kirtan. This is the most pious activity, just to come and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Then Srimvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravanam Ridyantasto Hi Abhadrani. All the abhadra in our heart is vidunoti, is actually washed away. And who is doing this? Krishna himself. So when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, what's happening? Because Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. Right? When we go out to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, we actually make this point. The incarnation of Krishna in this age of Kali Yuga is the holy name and is also Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? The holy name and Srimad Bhagavatam. And then we say, when you take Srimad Bhagavatam, is Krishna is personally entering into the house. And some of it, Indians, when we tell them, like, how many times like people keep nice murtis of Krishna at home, like a nice deity of Krishna at home. Now having Srimad Bhagavatam at home is having Krishna right in your house. And then we tell different stories of like, just by the entrance of Srimad Bhagavatam, how, people, their spiritual life actually progresses. Just by the presence of Srimad Bhagavatam, there's transformation in the life of people. So we have a few stories that we always keep in mind just to convince people about this. But we make the point, Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. Right? So when we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna is actually entering into our ears, going into our heart, right? Vidunoti Surisatam. He himself takes away the anarthas. So our whole theme is here, how is Bhagavatam awakening bhakti in our heart? Krishna himself. When we do Bhagavad Shravana, Krishna himself is actually taking off the anarthas. He's clearing our heart so that the bhakti can actually awaken in our heart. So, and also there's another verse in second canto. This is actually Parikshit Maharaj. Like, second canto is very interesting. Like, we see the first 3 chapters actually, Sukdev Goswami is answering Parikshit Maharaj's question, and he establishes bhakti as the highest process. And then in the 8th chapter, the entire chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, of that second canto, is Parikshit Maharaj asking questions. I mean, the whole chapter is, can you explain this, can you explain this, can you explain this? The whole chapter is that. And then after that, he actually makes the point. He says, Bhagavatam is so beautiful. This is Parikshit himself saying. He says, Shinvata Shraddhaya Nitya Grinitascha Swateshtitam Kalena Nati Dirgena Bhagavan Vishate Ridi. That he's actually saying the Srinvata, when we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, then what happens? We have to, like we are hearing it regularly, we nityam, we are hearing it faith, and we are accepting, or Prabhupada explains, taking this matter very seriously. Then what happens? Kalena Nati Dirgena. Not in a long time, in a very short time. What will happen? Bhagwan Vishate Ridi. The Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, will be manifested in our heart. Right? So when Krishna enters in our heart, then naturally all the anarthas, all that impurities are taken away. So, and then the next verse actually says, Pravishta Karna Randrena Swanam Bhava Saroram Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna Sharilasya Thasharat. And it gives a nice example here that how before the rainy season, the water, in the lakes and water, different rivers is all muddy. But as soon as there's a heavy pour of rainfall, then the rainwater itself purifies all the water. It's like a downpour, heavy rainfall. So similarly, Bhagavatam is just like, it's like heavy pour of, that nectar that's washing away all the anarthas. So Krishna himself, is entering our heart and taking away anarthas. So how does Bhagavatam give Krishna, give bhakti? The first thing is it takes away all the anarthas in the heart. The second point is Shraddha. Like in Bhagavad Gita, in the 9th chapter, 3rd shloka, Prabhupada entire shloka he focuses on how as Shraddha increases in our heart, that is a sign of progress in our devotional life. And he talks of Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttam in terms of their Shraddha in Krishna. Right? So Shraddha means that faith. And then even if you see the 9 limbs of bhakti, it starts off with Shraddha, that faith. And then as we are going, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha, every step that Shraddha is increasing. So Shraddha is, that faith is actually so essential to our progress of bhakti. As Shraddha is progressing, we are progressing bhakti. So how does Bhagavatam give bhakti? The second point is Shraddha. Faith in what? So one is faith in bhakti itself as the highest perfection for each one of us. We all have that, even like materialists, they have some inert, desire. Okay, I want to be good at this. I want to be best at this. I'm doing this material field. I want to, become the best. That craving is there. So what is the highest perfection for every living entity, for, particularly for those who are in human species, that opportunity is there to attain the highest perfection. And what is that? Bhakti. And how does Bhagavatam actually show that bhakti is the highest? Well, there are like so many pastimes that we can go through. I'll just mention maybe 2 pastimes. One pastime is that of Dhruva Maharaj, who has a desire unlike anyone. I mean, we may have so many material desires, but who would actually desire, let me have a kingdom greater than Brahma? That's like a desire that, we won't even think of having such a, but Dhruva had that material desire. And when we are reading the pastime, we are actually understanding, Dhruva had that material desire, such a great material desire, but then see what happened. After seeing Krishna, he realized, what was I asking for? He was like lamenting in his heart, what did I ask for? Because also when Krishna appears, he just says, you want that? I will give you that. And Dhruva was thinking, because when Krishna appeared to Dhruva actually, he realized that, what am I asking for? And he asked, Krishna, please just give me one thing. Give me, what's that verse? I'm forgetting that verse. Bhakti Pravaha. I forget that verse. But basically he says, just give me the association of pure devotees. That's what Dhruva is asking, right? When the Lord appears. But when Lord actually speaks, he says, Dhruva, I will give you this. You want a kingdom greater than Brahmaji? Here, take. And he says, you live for 36,000 years, and then, your stepmother, you had problem with her? This will happen to her. Stepbrother, this will happen. And then Dhruva, after Krishna left, was thinking that, I asked for pure devotion, association of pure devotees. He did not even mention anything about that. So Krishna is still seeing that my desire of, attaining that great kingdom. And then Dhruva was lamenting, oh, that desire is so strong. And then when we are reading that pastime, then, oh, he has this desire, and see where he came to. He concluded, devotion is the highest. And then so when you're reading that pastime, what is happening? That faith in our heart is increasing, that all I want is devotion to Lord Shri Krishna. That's the highest perfection. There's nothing else I want. And when we are reading Bhagavatam, that faith in bhakti itself as the highest, that increases. And also another reference I can give is before Ajamil pastime, right, in the 6th canto, in the 1st chapter, we see that in the 5th canto towards the end we read about all, 28 hellish planets and how people in this material world subjected to so much punishment, And then in 6th canto, Parikshit Maharaj is thinking out of his compassion that how will these people, get relief from all this suffering, so much pain? And then, Sukdev Goswami, he tests and he says oh, maybe karma kanda. And then Parikshit says, no, it's not going to work. Then he says, maybe Gyan. That also will not work. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya. Only bhakti will work. And then, so when we are reading these sections of Bhagavatam, then naturally our Shraddha in bhakti as the highest, that increases. Next, our Shraddha in the process of bhakti, that actually increases. That yes, this path works. Right? We see, again referring back to Dhruva, when Narad Muni came and he said, okay, you chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and describes the form. You meditate on the form of the Lord. And then he actually attained perfection. So when we come to reading that pastime, we see how the spiritual airplane from Vaikuntha comes to take Dhruva. And when we read that perfection, it's yes, the process works. All I have to do is follow the words of a pure devotee and perfection is there. Then our faith in the process itself, because sometimes we may be chanting every day and you're okay, 1 year, did I even make any progress? I'm just in the same, I'm chanting, I'm still struggling with my own anarthas. Is there any change? No, the process works. By reading Bhagavatam, we get faith in the process itself. And third is, we get faith in Krishna as the Supreme Lord. When we are reading Bhagavatam, the Krishna's mercy, his reciprocation with his devotees, his sweetness, his attractive features, all those things, and we get faith in, yes, Krishna. That's what I want, right? So our faith in bhakti itself, the process, and Krishna. All those three are actually given by Srimad Bhagavatam, just by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, right? So first point is anarthas are removed from the heart. Second is a shraddha in these three aspects increases. Now third point is Bhagavatam. Anyway, I don't have time. I had 2 more points, but I'll come right to the last point. That how Bhagavatam reveals bhakti is, where is bhakti? Where is bhakti? How can we get bhakti? And in Madhuri Kadamini Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he actually makes the point that bhakti is not of this world. The only way you can give bhakti, actually even Krishna does not give bhakti. He'll give, if you go and ask for some material benediction, Krishna will say, okay, take it. But if you ask for bhakti, Krishna says, well, I want to see, you really want bhakti? He'll test us. Why? Because if he gives bhakti, then he's conquered by that. And Krishna likes to be conquered, but he wants to test us. He wants to see, do you really want this? Right? So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is making the point, where do we get bhakti? And then he makes the point, bhakti is in the heart of the devotees of Krishna. So if we really want bhakti, then how Bhagavatam is giving bhakti, then our access is through the devotees of Krishna. So when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we are actually directly connecting with Srila Prabhupada. Like Srila Prabhupada says, Bhagavatam, his purports are his own devotional ecstasies. Like I was hearing in one class recently where he was making that, every time the acharyas are giving a commentary on a particular verse, it is their outpouring of their devotion which is coming as an explanation. So when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we are getting access to the devotion in the heart of Srila Prabhupada. Right? And not only Srila Prabhupada then quotes Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he quotes Sridhar Swami, he quotes Jiva Goswami, and we are getting access to a devotion of Srila Prabhupada and our acharyas. And where is bhakti? In the heart of these devotees. So Prabhupada is giving us the access to bhakti. So when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we are actually getting the bhakti in the heart of these devotees, our acharyas. But at the same time, the personalities in Srimad Bhagavatam, like let's say Dhruva, you're reading about Dhruva and how he, bhakti developed. I mean, Dhruva is an amazing story because he has material desires and then how he attains perfection. Right? When you're reading a personality like Dhruva or any of the other personalities, then their devotion, we are getting access to even the devotion in the heart of these devotees. Right? So in this chapter, when we are reading Narad Muni, going through all these palaces, and then we read that in last few verses, like we had a conversation between Narad Muni and Krishna, where Narad Muni is actually, amazed by this, and then Krishna says, well, I'm doing all this just to set an example. When we are reading that interaction between a bhakta and Bhagavan, that interaction is that of bhakti, and we get access to that bhakti, right? And a last point here is, this verse starts off by making the point of creation, maintenance, and destruction, and goes to the point of Krishna as the personality in Dwarka, enjoying all these pastimes. So yes, we get access to bhakti, but what kind of bhakti? Well, Bhagavatam is taking us to a journey. Initially, the bhakti is more of in the mood of Aishwarya, where we are appreciating, oh, Krishna as a creator, as the maintainer, as an annihilator, second canto, third canto. And then as we progress, we are actually getting access to bhakti in the mood of Krishna as Swayam Bhagavan. So hence in this verse is actually making the point, what kind of bhakti we can get by reading this pastime? Bhakti to Swayam Bhagavan, not to the other incarnations. All the other incarnations are there, and we'll get it from previous cantos. But this particular chapter is giving us bhakti to that personality, Krishna, who is in Dwarka, showing all his wonderful pastimes. So that access is actually being given in this. Yeah. So I'll stop here. See if anyone has any comments, corrections. Yes.
human material desires, and then we chant purely, and then we see Krishna, and then all. So how does this fit into me on my daily life?
And with my limited understanding, one thing about the Dhruva Leela, which I find so fascinating, is normally we just talk of like, okay, Dhruva followed Narad Muni's instruction, he saw Krishna. But actually, it's not just like 0 and 1, like, oh, material desire and now purified. After that, still Dhruva has a journey of purification. I mean, like, after that, there is a whole where he laments that, oh, I had this material desire. That also is a purification. And then we read this whole Yaksha incident, where Yaksha killed his brother, and then he gets angry and he kills all the Yakshas. And one may think, like, didn't Dhruva just see the Lord? Why is he getting angry? Why is he doing such an act out of anger? One may say, like, killing all the Yakshas so much, like the entire battle. And then that episode is further purification. So the point I'm trying to make is bhakti is actually levels of purification. And the process is powerful. What Prabhupada has given us is perfect. But it's like levels and levels. Like Dhruva's whole journey is one after another. Purification, purification, purification. Even when he becomes a king, then Bhagavatam says, well, he had to destroy the reactions of his pious and impious results. So even that purification is like, I was reading that pastime, almost like 9 or 10 different levels of purification in Dhruva is actually described. Just to make the point that yes, bhakti is the highest, but there is a journey. And that journey requires levels of purification. And Krishna knows what is the level of purification that we actually need to go ahead. And He'll give us in our life whatever is required. But, Prabhupada often he says yes, one of the purpose I was reading that, Bhakti Saraswati Thakur, he said, one lifetime is possible. I was thinking and I was relating to so many levels of purification. And Prabhupada always stressed, sincere, serious devotion or intense devotion. Only when that we have that mood of intensity, that mood of seriousness, that mood of sincerity. If we are doing bhakti in that mood, then Krishna will give us the right situations, the right tests, so that we can progress in bhakti. So, Grantha Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Antakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripasindhubheva patinam pavam. Goloka ki
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Aravindanalayataksam Bharavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vikamaniya Vishesha Shobha Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Lasyan Vipan Vikayanti Giram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham
Namaho Vishnu Pataya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Saminiti Namine Namaste. Saraswati Devi. Gauravani Vachar. Neke Devasesha. Shanarani Vachachagade. Satarane. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Ramana Janana Sudrita Gurana Sivasari Gauravadurina Jai Krishna Nana Ramanityananda Dvaita Gurada Sivasari Gauravadurina Shri Krishna Nana Ramanityananda Sri-Advaita Gurada Sivasari Gauravadurina Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Goloka hey! Hey, Radhe, 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 Jai Om Vishnu Pad, Paramahamsa, Jorya, also tell us Shiva, Abhaya Jagata, Rana Goswami, Shiva Prabhupada, ISKCON founder Acharya, Shiva Prabhupada, Ananda Koti, Vaishnava,
Rath Yatra tomorrow at the Cary Christmas Parade. Begins at 2, and Ditchinarayan has all the details on WhatsApp, so you can look at that. The amazing thing is, that speaking of miracles, that tomorrow it's going to be 55 degrees, or 12 if you're a Celsius fan. So it's the warmest day we're going to have in about 2 weeks. So Krishna has made, Lord Jagannath has made an arrangement for a wonderful parade tomorrow. So please come, and we'll have a wonderful Rath Yatra tomorrow in Cary. Parade begins at 2, and the assembly for the decorating the cart will begin at noon. And where we begin and everything is all on the WhatsApp announcement. Chaito darpana marjanam Davagni nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam. Getting excited? Yeah, nervous and excited. They're related, but it's going to be great. Going with your guru. Hey Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smaranena Kala Etadrishita Vakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjanina Nuraga Trinada Pi Sunichena Torora Pi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamae Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvarim Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishame Bhavam Buddha Gribaya Bhadab Nankaja Stita Duli Sadrashim Vachintaya Nayanam Gadashu Daraya Varanam Gad Gadarudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vabhukata Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Nimishena Chakshusha Bravashayatam Shunayatam Jagat Sarvam Govindam Virahena Me Ashlishyava Padamritam Anastumam Adarshanam Marmahata Karotuva Yatavatava Vidadatulam Pato Mat Prananatastusa Eva Napara. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you've invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw on the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate